Welcome to the Shifting Inward podcast, where we explore the mindset blocks that keep entrepreneurs stuck. Your mind is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. Your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions drive your success. When you shift what's happening internally, everything externally starts to move. Hi, I'm Joe Rizk, and in this episode, we're discussing scarcity mindset, that constant feeling that there's never enough. Not enough clients, not enough money, not enough time, not enough opportunities. So let's get into it. Scarcity mindset is the belief that resources are limited and that if someone else is winning, there's less for you. It's the fear that there's not enough to go around. It's operating from a place of lack instead of abundance. Every decision you make is filtered through, what if this doesn't work? Or, what if I can't afford this? Or, what if there aren't enough people who want what I offer? And here's the thing, scarcity mindset isn't about your actual circumstances. You could have money in the bank and still operate from scarcity. You could have clients and still fear there won't be more. Scarcity is more of a lens, not your actual reality. It's how you see the world, and it shapes every choice you make. When you're in scarcity, you're constantly bracing for loss. You hold tight to what you have. You undercharge because you're afraid people won't pay. You overdeliver because you're afraid they won't come back. You say yes to opportunities that aren't aligned because you're afraid to say no. You're running your business from fear, not from strategy. And the worst part, scarcity becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you operate from lack, you make decisions that keep you stuck in lack. You don't invest in growth because what if it doesn't work? You don't raise your prices because what if no one buys? You stay small not because you have to, but because scarcity convinced you that's all there is. So what does scarcity mindset actually look like in your business? Maybe you undercharge for your services because you're afraid people won't pay more. You tell yourself you need to be more affordable or accessible, but really you're pricing from fear. Fear that there aren't enough people willing to invest in what you offer. Maybe you say yes to every client, even the ones that drain you, because you're afraid to turn down money. You think, what if this is the last client I get? So you take work that doesn't align, that underpays you, that exhausts you, just to keep something coming in. Maybe you hoard opportunities. You don't refer clients to other people. You don't collaborate. You don't share resources because somewhere deep down, you believe that if someone else wins, you lose. Here's a big one. You over-deliver to the point of burnout. You give more than what was agreed upon because you're terrified that client won't be satisfied, won't come back later, or won't refer you. You're constantly trying to prove your value because you don't believe there's enough demand for what you do. Or maybe you avoid investing in your business. You don't hire help. You don't pay for tools or support. You don't invest in marketing or education because scarcity tells you you can't afford it. What if it doesn't work? What if this is a waste of money? So you stay stuck doing everything yourself, burning out, and wondering why growth feels so hard. And here's what happens over time. You exhaust yourself trying to hold on to what little you have. You operate in survival mode, not growth mode. You make decisions based on fear of loss instead of possibility of gain. And your business reflects that energy. Small, stressed, stuck. So where does this come from? A lot of scarcity mindset is shaped early. Maybe you grew up in an environment where money was tight, where there was never enough, where every expense was a source of stress. You learned that resources are limited and you have to protect what you have. That programming doesn't just disappear when you start a business. It follows you. Or maybe you experienced loss, a business that failed, a financial setback, a time when things fell apart despite your best efforts. And now part of you is always waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're bracing for loss because you felt it before. For entrepreneurs, there's another layer. You're building something from nothing. There's no guaranteed paycheck, no safety net. So your brain defaults to worst case thinking as a form of protection. It tells you to be cautious, to hold back, to prepare for things not working out. And that caution shows up as scarcity. And here's the deeper issue. Scarcity often comes from a lack of trust. You don't fully trust that you're capable of creating what you need. You don't trust that clients will keep coming. You don't trust that money will keep flowing. So you grip tightly to what you have, afraid that if you let it go, there won't be more. But here's the truth. Holding on too tight is what keeps you stuck. When you operate from scarcity, you repel the very thing you're trying to attract. Clients sense desperation. Opportunities pass you by because you're too afraid to take risks. Growth requires space, and scarcity leaves no room for it. Okay, so let's reframe this. Scarcity isn't reality. It's a filter, and filters can be changed. The shift starts with recognizing that abundance isn't about having more. It's about believing there's enough clients, enough opportunities, enough success to go around. When you operate from that belief, your decisions change. You stop hoarding. You stop undercharging. You stop saying yes out of fear. And here's the truth. There are more than enough clients and opportunities to go around. Someone else's success doesn't limit yours. The market is big enough for all of us. Your ideal clients aren't looking for the cheapest option or the most desperate one. They're looking for someone who believes in their own value, and that belief starts with you. And here's something important. Abundance doesn't mean ignoring real financial challenges. It means approaching them from a place of possibility instead of a place of panic. Instead of thinking, I can't afford this, ask, how can I make this work? Instead of, what if there aren't enough clients, ask, where are the people who need what I have to offer? Scarcity closes doors, but abundance opens them. The good news is you can choose which one to operate from, whether that's scarcity or abundance. Okay, so how do you overcome scarcity mindset? How do you shift out of that? First, track what's working. Keep a running list of wins, client wins, money coming in, opportunities that show up. When scarcity tells you there's not enough, you have evidence to counter it. You're not ignoring reality, you're reminding yourself of what's actually true. Second, practice gratitude for what you already have. This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending everything's perfect. It's about shifting your focus from what's missing to what's present. What clients do you have right now? What revenue did you already generate? What progress have you already made? Gratitude rewires your brain to see abundance instead of lack. Third, invest in your business strategically. Scarcity hoards, abundance invests. That doesn't mean spending recklessly. It means making smart, aligned investments in tools, support, or learning that will help you grow. When you invest from abundance, you're telling yourself and the market that you believe in what you're building. And finally, remind yourself, you've created before and you can create again. Every client you've ever had, every dollar you've ever made, every opportunity you've ever received, you created that. And you can do it again. Scarcity wants you to forget it, but abundance remembers. If this resonated, drop a comment and share your story. Have you struggled with scarcity mindset in your business? What helped you shift towards abundance? I'd love to hear about it, and I invite you to join our free school community to connect with other entrepreneurs who are breaking through mindset blocks and supporting and celebrating each other's growth. Link in the description. I'm Joe, and I help entrepreneurs shift inward so they can move forward. See you next time.